If you keep living in the end, visualizing the wish fulfilled, feeling like it's done, doing everything right, but nothing is shifting, and if you've started wondering, am I missing something? Did Neville even get this wrong? Or worse, is there something wrong with me? Well, today I have good news for you. You're not doing it wrong, most likely, but there is one hidden belief running in the background, silently canceling everything you've been trying to create. And until you change it, it's going to keep sabotaging all of your efforts. It's the belief that I see keeping 99% of people stuck in the cycle of doing everything right, but not seeing any results. In this video, I'm going to reveal this one core belief that I see blocking so many people. And of course, I'm going to tell you exactly how to change it. So stay till the end. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I teach manifestation the Neville Goddard way. I'm all about putting the power back into your hands where it belongs so that you can wake up each morning knowing without a doubt that you are creating your reality and that nothing is off limits to you. So here's what I've seen over and over and over again, and I've actually lived this myself as well many years ago when I was learning all of this and going through all of this that all of you go through, by the way. I've been through all of it. You do the visualizations, you repeat endless affirmations, you feel as if, you script, you even persist when it looks like nothing's happening, but underneath all of it, there's still a subtle energy of trying to make something happen. Thinking that you need to do more to make it happen. This was a big one for me. I was such a doer. I felt like if I wasn't doing, I wasn't manifesting. So that was a really big one for me. I always thought that I had to be doing something to make it happen. And that energy, that tiny, can be the tiniest vibration of needing to effort, of waiting, of needing your desire to show up, needing that proof in 3D reality is the very thing that keeps it just out of view, just out of reach. Neville said, you do not manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. And that's the key that most people miss. If your identity is still rooted in the one trying to live in the end, trying to make something happen, you're unconsciously confirming that you're not there yet. You're not there yet, and it's not here yet. That you still have something to get. So you're living in the end conceptually, maybe intellectually, but emotionally you're still waiting and needing something to happen out there. So here's the hidden belief that keeps almost everyone stuck. And it is exactly, I don't fully trust myself as the creator. And this is a big one. Most people are raised to think all kinds of things other than this. And they're even taught that, thinking this is a sin. It's blasphemous or wrong to think that you're the creator. How dare you? Right? They're taught that. So they don't go all in. They may be ashamed to go all in for many different reasons. So many I can't go over in this video, but there's a lot of reasons I see keeping people from going all in on this one belief. They're secretly waiting also for the proof to go all in. And, I see this most of the time when someone is manifesting a specific person. They don't allow themselves to go all in, to commit to their conviction of being the operant power until they see the proof with their specific person, and it never works that way. Never, ever, ever, ever does it work that way. You might know it intellectually that you're the creator of your reality. And of course, you have probably heard Neville say, I am the operant power. And maybe you even say, I am the operant power. And you might resonate with it. But all of that is different from being able to operate from that. to going all in is what I'm sort of referring to it in this video. Going all in on that belief, like truly committing to believing that before you have any proof. And let's be realistic here. What that looks like is, you know, you have the power to decide, you know, it resonates, you know, you have the power to decide that this is what I believe. This is true for me in my reality. Doesn't mean, and this is very important to remember and recognize, doesn't mean that you'll never have the old belief system come in. Doesn't mean that you'll never have a doubt about being the operant power. Doesn't mean that at all. It means that you know you have the power to make the decision. This resonates with you, so you want to make the decision. So you do, you make the decision. And once you make that decision though, anytime some doubt comes in, some old belief comes in, some old story that someone else taught you from their belief system comes in, you choose this belief again, right? That's what it really means. So again, just because you hear Neville say, I'm the operant power, and again, just because you say I'm the operant power, doesn't mean that you're really operating from it. So be honest with yourself. There's no judgment here. Again, I've been there, but you have to be willing to go all in on this if you want your techniques to work. Your techniques will not work on a hope and a wish. I'm sorry, but they won't. Your techniques will work from this deeper level of conviction. Yes, they will. So again, I was saying you might know it intellectually, but on a subconscious level, many people still believe that something outside of them, a person, a circumstance, even the universe, needs to, agree and condone your decisions. No one needs to approve your decisions. You get the final say on all of your decisions. That's why you can live in the end and still feel anxious and still want to check your 3D for evidence and still doubt, because deep down you don't fully believe that your consciousness, your decisions alone are enough. You don't really believe that you have all the power. You don't believe that it's as easy as making up your mind and committing to your preferences. And I get it. This old belief runs deep. So that's why, again, I'm not blaming you. It's not your fault. And this isn't about being perfect, but it is about being consistent and choosing your new belief system and committing to that belief system, not going back a day later or a week later or a month later to the old belief system. So we've all been conditioned to believe that the world just is, it's just happening, and that we have to adjust, to believe that we have to earn outcomes, to do something, to get something. So even when you start applying Neville's teachings, that old programming is still there and it does sneak in. So you visualize your desires, but secretly you're still waiting for something out there to change first before you go all in on believing that it's done, before you can finally relax into the state of the wish fulfilled, into the state of really, truly believing. But, and this is a big but, the real shift happens when you stop trying to live in the end and start being the end yourself. Living in the end isn't an act you perform either, by the way. It's rather an identity that you embody. It's the place you operate from, doing the most mundane things. You operate from this place. Neville said, be still and know that you are God. And being still doesn't mean that you are just sitting quietly. It means mentally, emotionally, you're being still. You're resting in the knowing that it's really already done. It's already yours. That's what he means by being still. So think about it. If you knew your desire was already yours, not hoped for, not wished for, not a maybe, not a it might not any of that, but you knew that it was a complete done deal, right? You had this strong knowing. Just imagine it for a moment. How would you move differently through your day? Day-to-day life, just doing normal, mundane things. How would you move differently? Really ponder on this, because if you're being honest, I bet it's different than how you've been moving. And again, that's okay. We have to have the awareness of how things would be different before we can make them be different. So would you still check the mirror of 3D reality for proof? Would you still analyze every text or every delay? Would you, no, you wouldn't do that, would you? Would you relax? Yeah, you would probably relax. And you'd go about your day from a completely different state of being because it's already done. There's nothing left for you to do except enjoy and relax. That energy is what living in the end truly means. That is living in the end. That feeling of relax, that feeling of it's done, that feeling of not needing to do anything, not performing the feeling, but remembering who you are and knowing and trusting that it's done before you have any proof. So let me give you a little example here, something I see with my clients all the time. So this one client was manifesting a specific person, as most of them are, and she visualized every day. She affirmed, she even stopped reacting to the 3D, but she still just felt off, a little unsettled, she would say. And when we dug deeper into looking at why she felt this way, she realized she was still holding on to the belief that if she doesn't do it perfectly, it's not going to work. If she didn't work at it daily and continuously visualize and be high vibe and, that it just wasn't going to work for her. That she had to get it right and make it happen. She had to find the right technique. She had to, have the right timing with her technique, like all of these things. She had so many things that she was still thinking and telling herself that she had to get right. Otherwise, it wasn't going to work. And that's the same hidden belief in disguise. I don't trust myself. I don't believe that my decision is enough, that I am truly the operant power of my reality. So once we programmed that and we looked at the deeper seated belief, once she remembered that her inner state is the cause and nothing else is creating, nothing else is really going on, it is literally her decision and alignment with that decision and resting in that decision, that, only when she really could embody that and integrate that, that's when everything, started showing up in her reality. So again, this is such an important thing to know. Your reality is mirroring this level of conviction that you have. So it's not about the words that you affirm. It's not about the visualization. It's about the level of conviction. So just notice if you do your visualizations, but yet you still doubt, you still don't really believe that you can change this through your imagination, that is the evidence, the proof that you're going to get in your reality. So back to my client, she didn't even try to live in the end anymore once she integrated this. She simply was that version of herself. Through this integration and this deeper understanding, she simply was that version who already was chosen, loved, and secure. And of course, the outer world had no choice but to reflect that back. And just as a reminder, it's always consciousness first, always. So let's talk about some practical steps. How do you actually change this belief? Because again, it is a process. That old belief system runs deep. So again, I don't want you guys to think that just having the knowledge is enough. It's not. It's about changing this deep-seated belief and not staying stuck in this pattern of, I'll really believe it. I'll really believe this when I see the proof and the evidence. And again, most people do this kind of like subconsciously. I'll really believe this when I see something with my SP. It does not work that way. So here's what worked for me personally, and for every client that I've guided through this as well. Step one is awareness. You have to catch yourself in the energy of trying. This is essentially the energy of lack and of not knowing who you truly are. If you're checking the 3D, waiting for something to happen, doubting, this is all the things that you want to start to become aware of, right? We can't just keep that going and layer some affirmations on top of that. No, we have to become aware of how we're doing this already. So It's just that you've momentarily forgotten who you are in relation to your 3D reality when you're doing this. And you have to start to become aware of this in order to change it. Step number 2, re-identify. Instead of asking, how do I get there? Ask, how would I be different if it was already done, if it was already here? And then shift into that identity of already having it. The one who doesn't need proof, because you already know you are the proof. Your decision is the proof that you need. That's all the proof that you need. Step number 3 is that inner stillness I was talking about. When the mind starts overthinking, you simply say to yourself as a reminder, it's already done. My decision is enough. Creation is finished, right? You're not creating anything. There's a lot of subconscious effort linked to thinking that you're creating something. You're not. You're choosing. You're choosing through your powerful decision. And let your body feel into that truth. Let it sink in until there's no tension left. And that's when you've crossed over from hoping to knowing, to deciding and knowing, right? So when you finally release that belief, when you fully trust yourself as the creator, living in the end stops feeling like a technique and starts feeling like ease and flow. You just naturally find yourself there because you've shifted so much resistance. There's this calm that takes over, like a wave of relief. You stop chasing, you stop monitoring, you stop trying to get, and you start being. You start choosing and being. And ironically, paradoxically, that's when everything begins to move and shift around you. The messages come, the opportunities open, the reality rearranges itself effortlessly, because reality can only mirror who you are being. It doesn't show you what you want, remember? It shows you the truth of who you are being and what you are believing. So if living in the end hasn't been working for you, it's not because you're doing it wrong. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's because you have been doing it from the wrong identity. You don't need more techniques. You don't need to learn more, and you don't need to be more worthy. You just need to remember who you really are, the truth of your being and your unlimited power. And you have to be willing to go all in on this. We have to drop the mentality of, I'll believe this. This all sounds nice, but I'll believe it when I see it. That is only going to get you so far. Reality mirrors that level of conviction. So if you are ready to finally get this core belief integrated so that you can see the results that you've been working so hard to get, so that you can stop trying and you can start to truly embody, then I invite you into my one-on-one program, my 1-month transformative coaching program. In this program, we do the work to shift your identity from waiting for the evidence to knowing that everything is waiting on you. And then we go straight to the subconscious, the limiting beliefs, and we do the work to peel back the layers of false programming so that you can start to effortlessly manifest the life you desire on autopilot. So it's deep, it's transformative, it will change your life, and it will change not just what you manifest, but how you see the world and how you move through life. So if you're interested, you'll find the link down below. You can book a call with me. I'm offering it for a short time, so I encourage you to get on that call. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.